All right, everybody, with the Texas Longhorn football team having completed 2 spring practices, we're going to be giving y'all our first spring position update. Now, this is going to be the wide receiver position. We'll start off by giving an injury update. We'll be also going over some guys that have made some good early impressions. We'll also give y'all a current depth chart that's been going. Now, this is subject to change, but this is the current depth chart and the way that things look. And then we'll also give you some notable one-on-ones at the end. But if you like the video, drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below. Give me your favorite wide receiver, and give me your projected depth chart for this end of the spring. So let's consider that the spring game. All right, everybody. Without further ado, let's hop right into it. All right, everybody, and we're going to start off with the injury updates. Now, Isaiah Neyor, why not just start with him? Isaiah Neyor still coming back from the ACL injury. He was seen jogging on the side of the field. Now, read into this what you will. They said that, it didn't look too labored. It didn't look like the past injury was bothering him. So, that's nice to see. But, at the end of the day, take it with a grain of salt. Just, we want to get Isaiah Neyor back healthy because you're going to see in this room, or in this video, competition is a constant theme with this wide receiver group, and it's about time. It's just, quite frankly, it's about time. Now, going into the next injury update, DeAndre Moore, the freshman wide receiver from St. John Bosco. This dude, he was seen walking around in a boot. Typically, I think that's going to be your ankle injuries, maybe a foot injury. Who knows? We'll see when we get like an actual official update. But for right now, it does look like he avoided serious injury, so that is a good thing to hear, because it's also he hasn't been one of these early standouts I'm going to mention, but he's looked good from what people have said. Now, early standouts. This is a lot of people are get ready. The Kool-Aid's coming. A.D. Mitchell. A.D. Mitchell has been he's been the talk of the town, basically, if you're talking about the wide receivers. According to some of the players on the team, A.D. Mitchell right now has been the most impressive wide receiver on the Texas Longhorn football team. Reading that what you will, A.D. Mitchell, he's looking good. Looking every bit of what was billed to come from Georgia. Now, the other one is Cook. We got Johntay Cook out there. The route runner. He's got some big hands, some long arms, which works very well for a wide receiver. Don't care how short you are. If you got those arms, you got those hands, you can catch the football. Those two dudes, they've been impressing guys, impressing people. Those are your current standouts right now. That's not to say that other guys aren't doing good, but those are two dudes that have drawn a lot of eyes, and they're going to get quite a bit of fanfare coming up. Now, going into the current depth chart, we'll just start off here with the Z wide receiver. Now, this is typically going to be your wide receiver that lines up off the line of scrimmage, and he's going to typically be motioned back and forth to try and manipulate the defensive coverage. Now, there are also guys that tend to be short and fast wide receivers. So, who does this fit? This fits your Xavier Worthy, Johntay Cook, and Jaden Alexis builds. Okay? Those are your 3 Z wide receivers right now. Obviously, Worthy's leading off. Johntay Cook nipping at the heels. You're going to see here the constant theme with this tech, not just the wide receiver room, but the entire team. Fear is the greatest motivator. Having fear of not being on the field is going to make these guys play better. That's what we mean when we say the term iron sharpens iron. There's a lot of iron on this wide receiver room. Slot wide receiver. This is going to be your well-rounded, your most consistent pass catcher. I mean, you know what you're getting. It's not a bird in the hand and a bird in the bush. You know it, 100%. So, Jordan Whittington makes no surprise whatsoever that he is going to be leading off this group, and probably will be for quite a while. DeAndre Moore just got injured, remember? So he's second string, but right now it looks like Savion Red, who has been getting a lot of a look at running back, is going to be our second string slot wide receiver. Now, maybe some of these things change with the Z wide receiver. We'll see. Then going down to the X wide receiver, you got these are fast dudes, big and strong. Isaiah Nayor, A.D. Mitchell, these type of guys. Now, Casey Kane is leading off the group right now, but I don't expect that to be for long. Not if A.D. Mitchell keeps doing what he's been doing, it will not take long for him to get to be that number one wide receiver. And man, we could have some legit wide receivers. But so Casey Kane to start it off. Then you got A.D. Mitchell behind him and Isaiah Nayor. Now, Isaiah Nayor not practicing right now, but you could think of him as the third string, maybe even the second. I mean, here's the deal. When you start, I think the main wide receivers that we're going to have going into the spring, and what I mean going into the spring, going into the spring practice, like the spring game, and then going into the season, I think you're going to have Xavier Worthy, Jonte Cook, Jordan Whittington, A.D. Mitchell, Isaiah Nayor. Those are going to be your 5 leading receivers on the team. And I think it's going to be a real competition for who gets the majority share of those targets. And when I mean that, I mean it's not just going to be one dude. This is also the burning question. Is this the first year that we have 2 1,000-yard receivers since, we technically did have, when you combine 2 receivers, we technically had 2,000 yards with those 2 receivers, I think in Lil Jordan Humphrey and Colin Johnson or Devin Duvernay. Some mix of those 3 guys. Well, it's been a while since we've had 2 legit 1,000-yard receivers, and maybe that could happen this year. We'll see. Especially with here's the other thing. Like I said, this is a lot of wide receivers. We're starting to move on to, it looks like we're starting to put more 3 wide receiver groupings on the field. Now, we're going to be moving on to some notable one-on-ones that we've seen. First off, we're going to start on the first day. Worthy beating Ryan Watts, who is looking good. Ryan Watts is looking good. More on this defensive backfield coming up. That's going to be a fun video. But Worthy dropped the pass. Cannot be dropping the ball, Worthy. Can't be dropping the ball. Literally and figuratively. A.D. Mitchell beat Gavin Holmes bad. If you saw there's a Twitter clip. I might put it up right here. I'll see. He smoked Gavin Holmes, and I believe that was actually Arch Manning throwing to him as well. But you'll see later on. Holmes actually gets one back on A.D. Not see, but you hear. Well, you just heard it, so you're not going to hear it later on. But, so it's cool. A.D. beats Holmes, and then Holmes gets one back. That's nice. Malik Muhammad. He beats Jonte Cook. That's another cool thing to see. You get in the nice freshman competition. Malik Muhammad, that dude, he could be good. He could be really good. Hopefully he's really good his freshman year. That'd be awesome. Worthy, he beats Jahdae Barron. Now Jahdae Barron, those 2 dudes they're pretty good friends. This team, there's gonna be some competition. There's gonna be some heatedness going on. First day started off hot. So Worthy, he's out there. He's like, when you're talking about him beating Watts, Barron, obviously he's running up against the ones. Obviously. But he's like, those are legit defensive backs. Those are 2 good defensive backs. Stop dropping the passes. Malik Muhammad, he holds Worthy, and this is on the second day, okay? He gets a hold on Worthy. He gets chewed out. Jordan Whittington, great route, great catch versus Jahdae Barron. So this is something that Jordan Whittington is going to be, by most Longhorn fans, he's going to be considered the odd man out. He's going to be considered the forgettable wide receiver. And I'm telling you right now, don't forget about him. Don't. Even if it's just a little bit of blocking on the edge or a third down catch that we absolutely have to have. But that's why he's at the slot receiver position, is because he is the most consistent guy. and that's the guy that we can trust to do his job, and he's going to do it. Also, remember, he was a former 5-star, so if he can ever, I know we're talking, he's like in 5th-year senior, if he can ever hit, but this is a guy that he had a lot of injuries year after year after year. His first full season was last year. I mean, hey, maybe there's that really uber talented wide receiver that we just hadn't seen yet. And even, I mean, he was if you remember, he was a running back wide receiver when he first came to Texas. Had him line up at running back. Then Jonte Cook had a bad route versus Terrence Brooks. Apparently, Jonte, there was never a chance on that route. But at the end of the day, didn't catch it. Now, Worthy gets the best of Jaron Thompson. Jaron Thompson, lot that we need from him this year. He could be a big piece for us. And then A.D. Mitchell, stop me if this sounds familiar, beats Gavin Holmes. Now, that's actually kind of an unfair matchup. You got Gavin Holmes, who's very, I don't want to say very small, but he ain't big. And you got A.D. Mitchell, who's pretty big. Pretty tall guy. But at the end of the day, I think what the notable one-on-ones show us is it does confirm where these guys are at on the depth chart so far. But at the end of the day, some dudes are playing. They're starting to play some ball. A.D. Mitchell, we want him to keep balling out. Jonte Cook, keep just... At the end of the day, even if he just presses Worthy all season long, hey, that's awesome. That is awesome to see. So to do a quick recap of the video, injured guys, you got Nayor still out. You got DeAndre Moore, who suffered an injury. Avoided serious injury, looks like, so that's good. Standout so far, A.D. Mitchell's looking good. Despite the notable one-on-ones that I went through. Jonte Cook is supposedly looking pretty good. Your current depth chart, you got your Z wide receiver, so it's going to be your guy that has more of the field to run to. That's going to be Xavier Worthy, Jonte Cook, and Jaden Alexis. Then your slot guy, that's going to be mainly just Jordan Whittington right now, but when he gets back, DeAndre Moore, Savion Red. And then your X wide receiver right now is Casey Kane, A.D. Mitchell, and then when he gets back, Isaiah Nayor. I do expect this to change. And like I said, or even, maybe even I said, but I at least alluded to it earlier. When your best guys are Xavier Worthy, Jonte Cook, Whittington, A.D. Mitchell, Nayor, look, at the end of the day, just get me 3 of those dudes on the field at the same time for the most part. And let's keep some fresh bodies on the field. Because if all those dudes can play, hey, you just wait your turn, and eventually your turn will come, and you'll ball out one day. All right, everybody. Hope you all have a great day. And sip a little bit of Kool-Aid. Hook!